As the name of the video implies, I have enough experiences with people starting their star answers just a few days before the interviews that I can confidently tell you that it's basically a waste of your time. And the reason why this approach of writing star answers a few days before interview is so inefficient is because people usually underestimate the level of preparation required to achieve proficiency with behavioral interviews. And so basically what happens is if you're 3 days or 5 days before your interview start writing 2 or 3 stories, and then you realize that basically it's far more complicated than you thought it would be, and you're going to end up with 3 or 5 or even 10 if you want stories which will be half baked, and therefore you will sound as less confident and less convincing when compared to maybe people who didn't prepare for the interview. At least they go, it's just a bet, they have nothing to lose, right? So actually this is quite true, I found, in many instances, because if you lose confidence in your ability to interview by writing stories in star format, then that's the worst possible outcome, right? Now, what I would advise you to do, and you should keep in mind that I do have enough data, I do talk to enough people to see what works and what might work and what does not work. So I have enough information to confidently advise you to do whatever you feel it will empower you to interview better. And by that, I mean, this could include building your story bank. But if you build your story bank, this doesn't mean your stories must be in the star format. You could build your story bank or your story in the DAN format, description, action, and some numbers. This was a joke, by the way. So choose the format that you prefer to prepare your stories in, but the idea is that you must reach a level where you feel confident to interview when compared to reach a level where you fit into a template, right? That template being the star format or a story bank with 25 stories or whatnot. So long story short, I strongly advise you to do whatever it takes for you to feel more empowered to interview. Some people feel more empowered by only just role playing their interviews with someone. Maybe you are already proficient with behavioral interviews without even knowing it. So to the extent you feel confident in your ability to interview and your strength would be some decisive advantage. Like another classic example would be for someone whose technical abilities are the core thing for the role. If you are someone who's particularly skilled in what you do, then the behavioral part will be only as a secondary part. So there's no need for you to start writing star answers the day before the interview because, so to have something prepared for the behavioral part, right? So long story short, beware that confidence is a big one in behavioral interviews, and I rarely see people being able to prepare a story bank in less than a week. In fact, this might take as much as 6 months. Some people prepare writing the story banks even without having an interview lined up, even while thinking of a career change, right? So this is a long-term process. So I hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.